Hello everybody, this is Thor Young with Bear Bull Traders, and I would like to share my trade on PDD with you today. Now, PDD is having a little bit of motion today just due to some pre-earnings news, so it was a stock that was on our radar from the chat room. As soon as I sat down, I took a look at PDD, and I was actually really interested in it off of the daily chart, which was that it had gapped and was already approaching this daily level here of $20.60. Now, if we zoom out here and go back in time, that level actually holds some significance as it acted as a pretty solid pivot back towards the end of last year. So I like the daily chart. It has news. Seems like things are going well for it, so I'm thinking, all right, this is going to be something I'm looking at. So in the open, we have here, we look at my 1 minute chart, you can see here that we started off with a nice breakdown. I don't trade generically in the first 15 minutes of the market, but I will get in sometimes just after the first 5 minutes if I see something that really has my attention on a stock that I'm most likely already watching specifically, and this was one of those cases. So as you can see, PDD found around 2062, which again, that's that 2060 level I'm talking about. From that daily chart, it found a bottom there quite nicely and pulled back up to the 9 moving average here on my 1 minute chart. Now I noticed that it had started to respect the 9 minute average each minute quite nicely. So I went ahead and decided to take an entry on it here at just below $21. I believe my actual entry was $20.97. So I set a 5-cent stop, which would have put me up over the top of the 9 moving average here. So it, pretty fair stop. Even on 1,000 shares, you're only risking $50 getting into this one. And then I set my order and waited for a minute or two. Actually, more like 5. But so as you can see here, it really started to respect this level quite nicely, this 21 level. So I started, as we went on, I felt more and more confident. And then right here at 9:44, we had a little increase in sell volume, and it pulled down. And I got a nice partial right here at 2080, which was already about 20 cents. So that was pretty nice since I only had a 5-cent risk. I then put me in a good position to sit and wait, and then of course we got another move down. This tested that daily level I was talking about, so I went ahead and grabbed a partial there. That way I knew I was going to be in a good place with that daily level. And then it pulled back off of it, retested here. Generically, if I was trading this on a trend, this might have been one of my entry points. But regardless, I held on, and then it finally went through and broke the daily level. Once it broke through, I took another partial at a 10-cent interval, waited, and then we got the dump I had been looking for. So, and we got all the way down to $20 flat. So I went ahead and took a partial, a pretty good size, all down to maybe about, I'd say 10% of my shares, maybe at 20. I had a feeling there was if you were looking at the montage, there was just a massive wall of orders at $20. So I actually got it filled at 20.02 just to make sure I would get filled. And sure enough, it hit that wall and bounced right off of it. Now, I was talking with some of my buddies in chat, and I actually called this out for long at this point because after it hit this bottom, it went into an ascending wedge that was quite beautiful. And so this is why I got out of this position. So you can use these for getting into positions. You can also use these as ways to judge when it's time to get out of your position. My original stop loss was actually going to be somewhere right up around, I was even thinking I may hold for 2060, the break of 2060, just because I knew that was a daily level. But when I saw the strength from this ascending wedge you have to the penny at 2020, you're just hitting this 2020 over and over again, and then it broke 2020 and the 20 moving average. I was out. So I went ahead and got out at 2030, and you can see it kind of ranged there for just a second, and then it had a great rip. I think some of my buddies in chat actually grabbed it at that point, especially at this convergence area here. It was real nice. And then it went all the way back up to my original entry, if you will. And then now it's been selling back down off for the day again. So as you can see, these if you're looking for these trending signals, you don't have to be in a rush to get in. I mean, I entered here. I could have entered here with the same result and would have felt just as good about it. And then just, set in and get ready for it here all the way down, but use the levels that you're giving you. We had a solid daily levels to pick off of this. We also had a beautiful, 5-minute chart. Everything about this chart. This stock gave very clear and clean entry and exit signals all over the place. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed my recap, and I hope everybody's green today. Have a great one.